morning. It's Sunday, May 31st, the last day of the month. And I had a lot of trouble thinking about what to rant about today because a lot of things are going on that I am upset with. But I'll start off by telling you a little story. Last night, my daughter, who lives in Atlanta and works for CNN and has lectured at the YA once or twice, called me up because she was upset. And she was upset because of what was going on at CNN headquarters at that particular time. It was a riot, an out-and-out riot. And she was watching it on television because she hasn't been at work physically in the plant, in the building, since the COVID-19 started. So there were people standing out in front of CNN headquarters, and it wasn't easy to get to headquarters because they had a lot of exits blocked off because of the COVID-19 virus. But these people were there with huge cement blocks, just flinging them one after the other into the windows. And the windows are pretty strong. There's some kind of protective glass, so the window didn't break it. So they would pick up a block again and throw it again, and the crowd was cheering and everything. So that was one thing that was bothering her. The other thing that was bothering her is out in the street, police cars were on fire, and people were walking around, pushing one another with a lot of different signs, as you can imagine. And the police couldn't do much. They were trying to hold the crowd back, and the crowd kept pushing them. And then I watched some of it replayed this morning, and what she was seeing on television last night was accurate, what she was describing. And my daughter's not a person that gets upset too easily. She's got a tough job. She goes all over the country doing work for CNN. So to hear her upset brings me to the point now of these riots that are going on all over the country. And I'm listening to the newscasters this morning, and they're talking about the internet and the fact that there are groups, white supremacist groups, Russians, all kinds of people who are sending hate out through the white supremacist sites or other sites. They're sending hate messages out. And that's what's inflaming these groups at the demonstrations to riot and burn things down. Now, there's been a lot of different public officials who have spoken out against these episodes, and they've spoken out pretty strongly about them. But I haven't heard anything from the national voice. The only thing I've seen is one of his tweets. It said something like, "If you are the looters, you will see the shooters." And that's a paraphrase of a racist Miami mayor who said something exactly like that in 1967. So I'm disappointed in the lack of communication from the president, in the fact that he hasn't called for peace and serenity and brotherhood. His tweets, his messages have been ominous, threatening, calling out that there'll be punishments and law enforcement and the National Guard, more threat, but not a peaceful message, not a message that brings people together, not a message that says, "I understand your pain." We have to work hard. We have to work very hard. We have to stop paying attention to those of us who want us to burn and threaten and continue to hate. I want us to talk about love and patience. We should talk about our children and the way they're being brought up and what they're learning. And I heard it said very well by the mayor in Atlanta this morning. What are our children learning from these demonstrations and these protests and the violence? What are they learning? That is a big, big problem in my mind. We need faith. We need peace. This is a divided country, and I don't understand why more people don't realize it, that we have to work very hard to overcome our prejudices and the divisiveness that is going on around us. Yet, for some reason, it continues and it grows. And that's the most depressing part. It keeps on growing. And our leadership is failing to attack that problem. And that problem resides not with the President of the United States, not with the Speaker of the House, and not with the Senate Majority Leader, but with the entire Congress and the entire Senate and the entire White House. They refuse to come to grips with this problem. They refuse. They let it fester. It's an absolute disaster we're living in. This is a disastrous time. I'm not even sure my brilliant grandchildren will be able to solve the problem. In addition to that, I cannot understand how the presidential candidates can't come up and speak to a solution. This problem is greater than the economy. It's greater than foreign policy. It's greater than worrying about abortion. It's greater than worrying about conservatives and liberals and right-wingers and left-wingers. This is a national problem, and all of these disparate groups must get together and straighten it out. And it's the responsibility of those who choose to run for the presidency to lead them, to show the way. I can't understand why, if a schmuck like me can see the light, why these more experienced pricks can't see the light. I'm hanging up now. I'm done for the day. Bye.